principles we need to understand before we go off-road is the effect of tyre pressures on the terrain over which we drive and the vehicle's performance. Firstly, a tyre that is very, very hard will tend to penetrate through. A tyre that is soft will tend to float. Now, for sand driving, such as this morning, the sand is actually quite wet, so it's got a lot of buoyancy. The vehicle, even with fairly hard tyres, does not sink in. But the moment the sand gets soft, a hard tyre will penetrate through, making driving difficult. So the first question is, what surface are we driving over? And how will our tyres penetrate? If they're going to penetrate a lot and reduce the power, absorb the power from the vehicle, then we're going to need to lower our tyre pressures. Now, we're going to go sand driving today. And the first thing we're going to do is look at the condition of the sand. And here, the sand in some places is quite compact, but where it's soft, we're going to battle. So we're going to drop the tyre pressures. Our first port of call is 1 bar. We can go lower, or we could go higher, but it's a good starting point. So I suggest that 1 bar is where we are going to start today. So to do that, we need a tyre pressure gauge. Okay, it's the first thing you're going to buy at any off-road 4x4 shop. You're going to buy a tyre pressure gauge. It's the first thing you're going to need. .5. Okay, 1 bar, good starting point.
We recommend that for sand driving that you shouldn't deflate to lower than about 1 bar, 100 kPa. The reason for this is twofold. You firstly don't want any sand being caught between the rim and the tyre itself, which will cause you air to leak, and also you have the risk of the tyre slipping on the rim, which could cause its own damage, or actually deflate or de-seat completely off the rim.
Now that the tyres are at lower pressures, the vehicle will float over the ground and the tyres will provide more grip. In doing so, they become vulnerable to damage and ground clearance is reduced. The driving style, therefore, must not be too aggressive.
For rock and stone, we would recommend nothing more than about a 15% drop in inflation pressure from your recommended. The risk, however, with that is that your sidewall bulges slightly higher and you could be prone to damage in the sidewall. The positive is that you have a much softer ride because the tyre can act as a better shock absorber when it's slightly deflated.
This also helps the tyres not slip off rock faces and expose themselves to damage.
Most vehicles nowadays come out with a highway terrain type tyre, and these tyres are designed for the average recreational user and will perform off-road quite well, except if you're going on a very long journey into the bush. We would recommend the all-terrain type tyre, which will give you those on-road capabilities as well as the off-road. Bridgestone has recently launched the runner-up to the D693, which is the D694AT. This is the tyre here, and some of the features that the D694 has, starting at the bottom at the rim area, is a recessed rim line, which obviously protects your rim from any damage, and also if you are maybe climbing a pavement, you will not get those nasty little nicks and scratches on the rim. Further up in the sidewall, we can see in this area here, the tyre has been reinforced to ensure that the penetration resistance is improved, because this area here tends to suffer quite badly from cuts and penetrations. Furthermore, in the tread area, the bottom of the tread has also been thickened to ensure that you have the maximum cut resistant capabilities. And the other factors that have been designed into this tread are water dispersion, traction, and also a reduced noise levels. These tyres are for the type of user that will still use his vehicle predominantly on road, but occasionally still have quite severe off-road usage and would want to go anywhere.
Highway terrain tyres, sometimes called HT, are better suited to vehicles used predominantly on-road because of their better high-speed braking performance, lower noise, wet road safety and a longer tyre life.